Welcome to my next Lost. Season 5 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you aren't caught up to the point where I am, a rewatching or watching Lost, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, I've already seen the TV series Lost 3 other times. It's definitely in my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time, without a shadow of a doubt, and I wanted to rewatch it and let it resonate just a little bit more, because there are times that I forget things in Lost, because there's too many goddamn episodes. I like 10 to 12 episodes per season, not 24 for some of these seasons, or 17. So I'm not the only one that's watching Lost, though. The legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who's a fan of the channel and a friend of the channel, is actually watching Lost for the very first time. Not familiar with him? Well, you see him in my comment section for Breaking Bad, Lucifer, Dexter, Dexter Original Sin, Dexter New Blood, and some physical media related videos. So join us on the journey and let's discuss this awesome and amazing show in the comment section, as he's in for a real treat. But I don't want to see any spoilers past this particular episode. So with all that said, this will be Lost, Season 5, Episode 10. The title of this episode is called He's Our You. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start with a flashback. Saeed's father drags Saeed's older brother outside to kill a chicken, telling him that it's about time he becomes a man. When the brother argues, the father asserts his authority, telling him that he will remain outside until the chicken is dead. And then a young Saeed steps in to help after the father leaves, and without hesitation, he wrings the chicken's neck. The chicken is now dead. When their father returns and discovers the chicken is dead, he congratulates the brother, who admits Saeed is the one who killed the chicken. Their father responds that he is glad at least one of them will be a man. Back to the current time on the island, set back in time. Saeed is in the Dharma Initiative's jail. A young Benjamin Linus brings Saeed another sandwich and a book, asks if Richard Alpert sent him, and says he will help Saeed. Saeed is later questioned by Horus and Radinsky, but does not reveal anything. And of course, Juliet expresses her concern to Sawyer that their life with the Dharma Initiative will be jeopardized because of Kate, Jack, and Hurley's return to the island. Horus tells Sawyer of Saeed's silence, so Sawyer goes to Saeed one-on-one and tries to convince him to give a false confession of being a defector from the island's native population, the others, yet Saeed refuses. Before returning to the island, Saeed pursues a man in an apartment in Moscow, Russia. As Saeed trains the gun upon him, the person offers a bribe in exchange for his life, only to be gunned down instead. Saeed leaves the building that appears to have a sign reading 32 Oldham Pharmaceuticals in Russian. Saeed walks at a brisk clip down a street in the background. He turns and enters through a double gate where he meets Benjamin Linus. Ben informs Saeed that he has killed the last of Whitmore's people that were a danger to the Oceanic Six, and that Saeed is free to go live his life. And Saeed expresses confusion that this is the end. Like, he wanted to continue killing because that was his purpose at this point in time. Back to the island, Horus introduces himself to Saeed. Saeed isn't answering any of his questions, so Horus tells him he has 1 hour and then he'll take things to the next level. Juliet's worried that Saeed will tell people who he is. Horus stops by to tell Sawyer we've got a problem. Sawyer goes to see Saeed. He tells Sawyer he guesses he's on his own since Sawyer's happy with his life in Dharmaville in the 1970s. Kate asks about Saeed's fate, to which Jack has no answer despite talking to Sawyer the night before. When she says she's going to ask Juliet about it, Hurley mentions the fact that Juliet and Sawyer are an item, are in a racial relationship, and Kate is shocked at this and learns that Jack knew about it but didn't tell her. In Jack's defense, he had just found out about it too, though. Young Benjamin Linus brings Saeed another sandwich, but finds his father Roger already in the room. Ben tells Roger he has brought the sandwich for him. Roger assaults Ben and forces him to admit that the sandwich was actually for Saeed. And then before returning to the island, Saeed is seen helping a school as a part of a charity called Build Our World. Ben appears to inform Saeed of John Locke's death, attributing it to a murder by one of Whitmore's men in retribution for their activities, including Saeed's murderers. Ben forewarns the danger Saeed is in of being found as easily as Ben was found. He also appraises Saeed of a man perched outside the Santa Rosa Mental Health Institute watching Hurley for a week. Saeed determines that Ben's true mission is to prod Saeed into killing that man. Ben reasons Saeed's capability of accomplishing things most other men can't, and how killing is in Saeed's nature. Saeed tells Ben that he is mistaken and that he does not like killing, to which Ben says, "Then I was mistaken," and walks away. Saeed is taken to Oldham, Dharma's resident interrogation expert. He's RU. When Saeed asks Sawyer about him, Sawyer regretfully tells Saeed he's RU. Oldham, and I might be saying that wrong because I don't quite remember his name off the top of my head since it's been, I put it in here as that, but I think it's pronounced a little bit different than Oldham, like Oldham or something like that. But he gives Saeed a few drops of a drug on a sugar cube, which forces him to tell the truth. Before returning to the island, Saeed is drinking McCutcheon whiskey served by a bartender when he is approached by Ilana, and then they flirt. Saeed reveals his knowledge of the Dharma stations, the Flame, the Pearl, and this is back on the island, of course, and the future yet to be built Swan Station. This causes Radinsky to get nervous, and he asks how Saeed could possibly know how they were going to name the Swan, as they haven't even built it yet. Saeed tells them that he had previously been on the island for 100 days and that all the members of the Dharma Initiative are going to die. Finally, he reveals that he is from the future, which causes Oldham to exclaim that he must have given Saeed an overdose of the drug. Saeed laughs hysterically and replies, "You used just the right amount." Juliet shows Kate around the motor pool where she will be working. Kate reveals she knows about Juliet and Sawyer because Hurley told her. Juliet says it's a relief because she didn't know how to say it without making it sound like she was telling Kate to stay away. Both women still appear uncomfortable, but yet they are interrupted from further conversation by Sawyer, walking by the motor pool holding a captive Saeed. And if I were Sawyer, I would look at Juliet and Kate and be like, "Threesome? Let's go." I don't know. That's what I would do. But anyway, that evening, several members of the Dharma Initiative take a vote to decide whether to execute Saeed. After an impassioned speech from a new mother, Amy, holding the newborn baby, Ethan, about being unable to sleep, worrying that their children's fate while that man is here, they all vote in favor of execution. Saeed and Ilana end up going to a hotel room. As they kiss and she lies back on the bed, Saeed starts to take off her boot only to receive a kick to the head. Ilana holds him at gunpoint and then reveals she has been employed to take Saeed to Guam by the family of Peter Elvino, whom Saeed previously had killed for Ben. He was the guy that was on the golf course. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was this season, I believe. And then, or maybe it was last season. And she tells Saeed he's going to answer for what he's done. After the vote back on the island, Sawyer attempts to let Saeed escape one last time, but Saeed refuses again, stating he has found his purpose for returning to the island. Sawyer goes to Kate's house and asks her why she came back to the island. Before she can answer, however, a flaming Dharma van runs through the barracks and crashes into one of the houses. And then before returning to the island, the next day, Ilana escorts Saeed to the airport. After noticing some of the Oceanic Six, Kate, Hurley, and Jack about to board Azura Airways Flight 316 to Guam, he asks to be put on a different flight, but Ilana sarcastically suggests that Saeed buy a rabbit's foot and will not yield. On the plane, Saeed sees Benjamin Linus board and accuses Lana of working for him, which she denies. He describes Benjamin Linus as a liar and a manipulator and a monster. When Lana asks Sayid why anyone would work for a man like Ben, Sayid says, "I did." Back on the island, while everyone is distracted by the fire, Benjamin Linus, little Ben Kid Benjamin Linus, helps Sayid escape from the holding cell and they flee into the jungle. Sayid is spotted by Jin, who drives by their location in a van. Sayid approaches Jin and tells him that Sawyer allowed his escape, but when Jin radios for confirmation, Sayid knocks him unconscious and takes his gun. Benjamin Linus is impressed with Sayid's combat skill and suggests they keep moving. While still crouched over Jin's body, Sayid quietly says, "You were right about me. I am a killer." After a moment of reflection, he shoots Benjamin Linus, little Benjamin Linus, in the chest and then runs off into the jungle, and that's what ends this episode of Lost. So, I like the episode, but I'm a little annoyed with Season 5 on this rewatch. So, I'm going to give the episode an 8.0 out of 10, and my character of the episode is Sayid, and the secondary character could probably be Alana. She's good too, although she's a character that, like, I forget about. Like, her and Caesar, I forget about them a lot, because they come in Season 5, and I don't know. But anyway, those are my thoughts about this episode. If you're a fan of Lost and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share this video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Lost. What would you rate it, and who would you say is your character of the episode? And you remember, you'll be interacting with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man, but no spoilers past this episode. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100,000 subscribers as I set my goals pretty high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.